So on a sadder note, this this painting here was actually she died. She died. She was in an airplane crash. Isn't that horrible? Anyway, she just gotten married, and they're taking off from their wedding, I assume, in an airplane to go on their honeymoon. And the airplane crashes and everybody dies. Now that's a terrible story, but that's what happened to her. But this is also an example of how I start my paintings. You can see, or it might be kind of hard, but you can see like this sketch right here. To be qualified as a photorealist artist, which, I am some of the time, not really, but one of the requirements is that you must transfer the image mechanically. There's a couple different ways you can do that. What I did is I would use a slide projector. I would project the image onto the board or canvas, and then I would draw the edges, the lines from the photograph onto the paper, and it would look something like this when I was done. Just a very rough outline. I would kind of block out some of the basic shapes and whatnot, and then from this, then I would start painting this. That's a pretty good of how the work is done. There's also another way using a square method, where you take maybe an original photograph, divide it up into squares, transfer those squares onto your canvas or board, and then basically go square by square, doing each square. I personally don't like that way. This way is much more natural, a lot less time consuming as well. But that was Christy. She's no longer with us. This is one of my very favorite paintings. This was of a high school friend of mine. And I just love it. It's just a simple, I think it came out very nice. I went over to visit him one time. I just snapped a few pictures. His name was Paul. He was a high school friend of mine. I don't know whatever happened to him. Haven't seen him for 25 or more years. But I just like how it came out. It's a nice image. Here's another of my big portraits. This was a friend of mine named Mike from college. Oil on board. All of these paintings, most of them are oil on board. And this was one of my first ones that I did. And I really like how it came out. I remember I wanted so much. This was painted in 1991. Most of these works were done in the early 90s. Like I said, I haven't done anything for quite a while. But I was so eager to start this painting. I got to get on it right now. Right, I can't wait another second. I got to start working on it. And so before I had the right equipment, I just went for it. I started painting without transferring the image mechanically. And of course what happened was it got really out of proportion really fast. And so I had to basically start all over again. And that's just an example of when you you have to have the right tools. You have to have the right equipment to do the job. And I like this painting a lot. It makes me want to paint some more. Just right now, just looking at them, you know, I have, you know, I kind of have the urge to go out and buy some paints right now. This was a painting of, this was actually just a stranger in the hallway. This was taken in El Paso, Texas. A lot of these were, I was living in El Paso, Texas at the time. A lot of these were done in El Paso. Some of them were. Then some of them were painted a little later. But this was actually just a stranger in the hallway. And actually I had asked Mike, that's Mike. I had asked Mike right there if he would just get some random pictures for me. And that's what he did. So this picture was actually taken by him in the stairwell in the school dormitory. And behind him was a big plate glass window, which allowed the light to come in from behind. And I think that makes for an interesting look. Like up here, you know, where the light is kind of coming through his hair. Plus it's lit, backlit, so the sides of the face are lit and the middle is shadowed. It makes for a cool image. And I do really like this one as well. And I have no idea who it is. Just some stranger in the hallway. So, if you were in El Paso, and this is probably 91. I don't know, 91 or so. And this was you. Here's your portrait. I have no idea who it was. Just a stranger in the hallway. And let's see what else I got here. This is just something I want to show you. And here's this painting. You've seen this already, but here's another little way I started doing this painting on the back. One of my ideas was I was going to do a lot of family pictures, and this was actually a family picture. It's hard to see. This was actually my mom right here. Maybe if I hold it up a little bit. Again, you can see like the slight image, the slight pencil image that I did first from the slide projector. And I don't know why I didn't finish it for some reason. Maybe I was kind of intimidated. That's me in the middle as a baby, and my two older brothers on either side. This was taken actually in this house, right out in front on the front steps, probably 1968 or 69. No, it would have been, 68 or 69. Okay.